I am here with Max Adler, 2017 Bentley graduate and star player for the men's lacrosse team, who is in his fourth year as a member of the Denver Outlaws in Major League Lacrosse. So, Max, thank you very much for joining me today. We're going to jump right into the questions we have for you, a little bit about your background, how you got to Bentley, and then talk about a little bit your time with the Outlaws. So for those that don't know your story, tell us a little bit about how you went from being a wrestler in high school to taking up lacrosse.
Yeah, so I went to prep school. I'm originally from Fort Lauderdale, Florida, but I went to prep school. It's called Northfield Mount Hermon in Western Massachusetts. And there I really fell in love with wrestling. I loved the work ethic of it, and I thought it was the best sport where the amount of effort you put in directly correlates with the success you have on the mat. So, that was my main sport in high school. We were a powerhouse wrestling team, and lacrosse was just something I played for 3 years, was really only the starter for 1 year, and just kind of did it for fun. And then when I started looking at colleges, I really fell in love with Bentley from an academic standpoint and the campus and just really everything it stood for. So obviously Bentley doesn't have a wrestling team. So I asked Coach Murphy if there was a chance I could potentially try out and, try to walk on the fall team for lacrosse just to try to make that, because we have a fall ball team and then a spring team too. So just to, try to make that fall team because I knew I wanted to keep playing sports because it's something I've always done.
Great. And speaking about Coach Murphy, kind of going into the next question, how did Coach find you on the recruiting trail regarding lacrosse? Once you started playing lacrosse, was it something that you kind of had to reach out to him? I know you alluded to that, or was it something that he kind of had a little bit interest of you when you came to campus?
Yeah, so I think the great thing about Coach Murphy is he's not necessarily looking for the most talented lacrosse players. A lot of it's, your work ethic and, academically, Bentley's a pretty tough school to get into, so you have to check that box as well. But, I really didn't get recruited by any schools for lacrosse. I never went to any recruiting camps for lacrosse, and wrestling was really my main sport. So I found him and just reached out to him, but I came in, I think, the fall of my senior year of high school and just looked at the campus, and he took the time to speak with my father and I and really just tell us, you go to Bentley for the school. Lacrosse is a bonus. And that was pretty refreshing to hear. I knew I was looking for a business school. And, so, yeah, he kind of found me, and it was just seemed like the perfect fit.
I know you alluded to some of this in your answers prior to this, but what else went into your decision to commit to Bentley? I know you mentioned the academics before the campus. What else kind of contributed to that?
Yeah, I think it's one of the top business schools. And then, also from the Division II perspective, a lot of my friends, went and played Division I. A lot of my teammates played Division I. My brother's playing Division I lacrosse at Duke. And what I really loved about Bentley was you get a great balance of academics, athletics, and social life. So it was really just, I think, the best overall college experience you could possibly have. So it just, fit in all the areas I was looking for. And I really felt like it was somewhere I could, excel to my maximum potential.
Definitely. So your first season at Bentley, you didn't play very much, but starting with your sophomore year, you quickly became one of the top face-off takers in the nation. Can you describe some of the things you did that helped you make such a quick and successful transition from wrestling to lacrosse?
Yeah, so I was pretty raw. I remember my fall, that first fall, everyone was an All-American in high school and the star player on their team. And I was like, probably one of the worst players on my high school team. So, it was pretty intimidating, but I was my freshman year, I was just so happy to be on the team and be playing a sport in college. I thought it was the coolest thing ever, just to have that opportunity. And just through, what Coach Murphy taught me and Coach Marmiani, who was one of our assistant coaches, and they really taught me the face-off position. And similar to wrestling, I think it's a position where the amount of effort you put in is a direct correlation with your performance on the field. So that's where I really realized that, if I committed myself that summer of my freshman year and put in the work, I could really, have the chance to excel. And since the sport was so new to me, I felt myself getting better every single day. And I wasn't, burnt out at all because I played so many different sports growing up.
All right. Last question, kind of related to Bentley for you here. What were some of the lasting memories that you have from your time playing as a Falcon and being around the team and Bentley in general?
Yeah, so I mean, my best memories were definitely just the fans and all my friends coming to the games. The amount of support we had was really incredible. Bentley, it's a smaller school, and a lot of teams just hang out with their team. But at Bentley, I feel like all the teams, hang out with other teams and the general student body. So just to have that full support from the school and the student body was really special. And then it carries over to playing professionally. We played last year the Cannons, and I think we had around 50 kids from Bentley, show up to that game and support me there. So it's just a really fun and special, environment that, even a lot of my teammates played at those big time Division I schools, and they see my friends, come to the games and they're like, this is awesome. Like we never had this in school. So I think that's what I take away the most is just like how great our fan support was and how close and tight knit of a community we are at Bentley.
That's great to hear. Jumping now into your time in Major League Lacrosse, you've now played 4 seasons with the Denver Outlaws. How much of a difference was it at first, jumping up to the professional game? What was the biggest differences that you saw from college up to professional?
Yeah, it was pretty crazy just because I never expected to get drafted, and growing up never really followed lacrosse. And then, I got drafted to the Outlaws, and we've been in the past 4 championships and, won one of them. But, to get drafted to a team like that, and my teammates are these big name lacrosse players who are, played at Notre Dame and Duke and all these big time schools. So to get thrown in there was a huge transition. But, similar to Bentley with the Denver Outlaws, I really feel like they helped me, be successful. And going from Bentley and the Denver Outlaws, they're both, winning environments where the expectations, to win and win championships. So it was pretty seamless in that regard. But, in both areas, I think I was successful not in spite of, but because of all the support I've had. So it was a great environment. And, Denver, they don't care where you go to college. They don't care about any of that. They just care about, the type of player you are and the type of teammate you are.
So you just spoke to this a little bit about the success you've had with the Outlaws and that title. What was it like winning that MLL title with the Outlaws in 2018?
Yeah, so 2018 was really special. I earned the starting spot that year. The year before I was the backup, and we lost in the championship. So to be the starter was, something I never really envisioned or imagined. And then to play in that championship game and to win the championship with the group we won it with was really special. And I mean, unfortunately in college, I never got to win a championship, a conference championship or anything like that. And, I took that personally, and it was something I always wanted to do. And it was amazing just to share it with that group. And, you always talk about how great it is, and the goal is always to win a championship, but until you really win one and you get to share it with that locker room, I really think it made me really want to do everything I possibly could to get back there and win another championship. And, that's what I play for now, is to win a championship. And that's, the only reason I play. So, no, it was really, really special.
Awesome. All right, Max, final question for you. The 2020 MLL season was shortened due to the pandemic. Talk a little bit about what that experience was like playing this season. Were the teams kept in a bubble?
Yeah, so all the teams went to Annapolis, Maryland for 10 days, and we played 4 round robin games, and then we played in the championship. And it really reminded me of summer camp, because usually we fly in for the weekend and then fly back out. But, I think we were really able to spend a lot of time with each other and really come together as a group. And it felt like, when you go to summer camp and you're with all your friends, and we had a whole floor to ourselves. So it was great. I mean, it was a really awesome experience. Obviously, came up a little short the championship game, but it was great just to really spend time and develop those relationships with your teammates. And that's what I really take away from this season.